Hey guys, how's it going? It's Randy with Saturday Station Farm. Gotta go out and check on the chickens. See if we get any eggs. Or she's rolling around in the snow. You playing in the snow? So I've got the chickens over in the hoop house. It's pretty chilly out today. About 0 degrees out. The chickens are free to come and go, but when it snows just a little bit, like we had a little dust on the snow last night, they don't like to get their feet snowy. They're kind of dainty like that. We'll grab them a little bit of grain, a little bit to keep them occupied, so they'll keep kicking out eggs. Let's go see how they're doing. Oh. Let's get them a little oyster shell too. Yeah. They'll like that. Oh, here they come. Apparently I'm running late. Ugh. They're all waiting for their morning breakfast. Sometimes Hershey will walk off and the chickens will follow him. Yep, there they go. As though he has something for them. They're super ridiculous. They're super funny. All right, chickens, come on. Come on. There's a big rooster right there. Keep an eye on things. There are other roosters over there. Yeah, usually this little bit of snow on the ground, they don't like it. They go about as far as the kind of cul-de-sac here, and they don't go much farther. They don't like getting their feet all snowy. They're awful dainty sometimes. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We got an egg right on the ground. What the heck? You crazy birds. So, I'm going to grab eggs this morning. It's not too bad today. It's probably like 10 degrees or so. A little bit of a wind, maybe 10, 15 mile an hour wind now and again. There we go. Oh, Hershey hanging out, waiting for his turn to go for his walk. So a bunch of customers have been asking me if we have eggs. And we do. And our prices haven't even changed. I was hearing a lot of talk about folks saying that egg prices were going crazy and they're ridiculous. And I guess there's a shortage of eggs because of the USDA killing off chickens due to avian influenza. So I went to the grocery store. I haven't been there in like a month. Come on, Hirsch. To check it out. And I don't know. If I had to buy eggs, all the pasture-raised and regenerative, high animal welfare, organic, that vein of eggs are, I don't know, somewhere $6 to $10 a dozen. Doesn't seem like their prices have changed at all. They're all right in the same spot they've always been. But the bottom of the shelf, along the ground, all the crazy cheap eggs, those ones are all now at the exact same prices as the ethically raised eggs. And so in many ways, the only way that those bottom of the barrel eggs could have such cheap prices is if they're externalizing their costs through raising animals in a manner that their welfare is degraded and the costs are externalized to the environment. And that's the problem with industrial agriculture. It's a mass emphasis on heavy specialization, doing one thing and just maximizing it for the metric of cost, and that's it. Whew, it's a little warmer in here. They're not maximizing for animal welfare, worker welfare, or the environment, right? They're getting the cheapest labor they can get. They're packing as many animals as possible into the smallest tiny area, extracting every little bit of life that they can out of them, and just turning around and having them in a completely artificial environment, 100% man-made. They're not even acting like birds. I mean, it took forever to get birds to go from raising chickens, like 6 chickens in a small little tiny cube, like a 1 foot square cube, right? And there's like, oh, now they're cage free. So instead of having a bunch of birds crammed into a tiny little cage, we just put twice as many birds inside a big open stall. No, hardly any room to move around. You get the cheapest workers you can get. All the profits go to the top, but the consumer has a at the register price that appears low. But it's an artificial environment. It's artificially low prices. You only get those prices through the exploitation of workers, animals, and the environment. That's it. So when you have a pandemic come through, or whatever's going on, I haven't even looked into what the whole issue is. Just I know that people have been hitting me up about this egg prices and availability. But the companies that have already been striving at a bigger scale to try to raise chickens much more ethically for the environment, for the long term, where they have their animals spread out, even in large flocks, but across pastures, and they're decentralized. And they're not one centralized, homogenous, vertical infrastructure where they're susceptible to bullshit like pathogens and sickness or any little calamity. If you're raising your animals to be outside and as half wild as possible, they're that much healthier and they can actually manage a lot of these diseases that come through. Or issues, weather, all kinds of stuff. You know, they're more robust and they're more rugged. But obviously, it's not nearly as efficient. So there's a cost associated with that. So I don't know. The way that I see it, like the super cheap bottom of the barrel stuff, those prices should be higher so that the full cost of what a production is realized. And that's just taking responsibility for your part in the whole system. Even if you can't make it out to a farm directly that's raising animals the way you want, be able to make your purchasing decisions towards the future that you want is still just small steps. You know, it's like good, better, and best. Like we're just working our way towards where we want to be. So if the cheap industrial eggs are now realizing the same cost as a more ethically raised egg, then why don't we just reject that industrial model and just start buying ethically sourced eggs the way they should be raised, the way chickens should be taken care of? I think the prices should rise because they're artificially low. It's not a true representation of the cost of production. So that'd be great to see the whole thing just collapse and more emphasis put back on the small farms and a decentralization of the whole food industry at large, but eggs in particular. That was my thoughts on it. Right off the bat anyway. I haven't actually looked too deeply into the influenza stuff or what else is going on. There's probably some other factors at play. If you guys are keeping up on it, let me know. Let me know what you found, and we'll go forward. Oh, and you know, so the other thing too, this may be a good time for you to actually get your own chickens. If there's one thing I'd rather see, it doesn't take every single, everybody reverting back to small farms again. I would like to see that. Back to rural living, back in the countryside where you can be self-sufficient and self-reliant. You don't actually have to sell your products and become a full-time farmer. Just doing a little bit more for yourself, having a couple chickens, growing some of your veggies, harnessing the means of production for yourself and your own self-sufficiency means you're not beholden to a system that is predicated on cost and convenience above all else. All right? Just something to think about. If I can help you out, let me know. Otherwise, we'll go forward. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.